Foolish thoughts. If it ain't in writing, it doesn't exist. This is Joseph Barone, the CEO of A Fool for Learning. One of the mantras that I repeat to my family and friends is that if it is not in writing, then it does not exist. I know that you are only as good as your word, but in today's business world, you need to have it in writing. This is true, especially when money and deliverables are involved and there is nothing in writing. If you have a disagreement, then it becomes a he said, she said, and more than likely, you will come out on the short end of the stick. Let me tell you a little story to illustrate this. Many years ago, the sponsor of a Boy Scout troop that I was associated with held all of the Scout funds. That was the process for all of the parish organizations. The parish held the funds for all of the church organizations and provided them with a monthly balance sheet. One month, many years ago, our records showed that we had $7,000 more than the parish records showed. The leaders at the time believed that there was no malfeasance, it was just simply an accounting error. As we had our records, the leaders at the time went to the pastor regarding this matter. And the pastor told him not to worry. When you need the money, you will get access to it. The troop leaders took the pastor at his word and went about their business. The pastor died. A new pastor came in. We discussed this among ourselves, but we did nothing. That pastor then left, and a third pastor was assigned. Again, we discussed this matter amongst ourselves, but did nothing. That pastor was then eventually reassigned. And as you can expect, a fourth pastor came in, and once again, this matter was brought up among the leaders. As I was the scoutmaster at the time, I told the older leaders that unless we had this in writing from the pastor and on church letterhead, the money was gone and that we should forget it. An argument ensued, and it caused much bad blood amongst each other. After a few years, a fifth pastor came in. I was no longer the scoutmaster at that time, and again this issue came up among some of the leaders. And once again, I told them that unless we had something in writing, other than some old printouts, etc., from 18 years before, we should forget it. But I was told that I was wrong. The former pastor gave his word on it, and we would get our money. Therefore, some of the leaders went to the new pastor to discuss this. And what did the new pastor tell him? Well, he said he did not believe that the scout leaders were lying, but unless they had something in writing, he did not feel obligated to turn over $7,000 to the scout troop. The new pastor felt it would be fiscally irresponsible of him to turn over the money unless there were some well-documented written records, as opposed to some old printouts from 18 years before. The auditors would be all over him if he simply turned over the money. And so, as I predicted, the money was gone. As I said, if it ain't in writing, it does not exist. This is Joseph Barone, the CEO of A Fool for Learning, signing out. Remember, Semper Gumby, always be flexible.